If you have alopecia or thinning hair, the wrong oil can irritate your follicles instead of helping. Well, today I am sharing fragrance free oils that are gentle for sensitive scalp. By the end of this video, you will know the best oils to use and the ones to avoid. Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is LaTrance. I am a hair and nutrition specialist featured in Moments magazine. Now, today, y'all, like I said, I'm going to be sharing with you the best fragrance free oils. But first, I want to start with nature is the best medicine. I will always say that. And let's jump right into the oils to avoid. I have my notes in front of me. If you see me looking down, I want to make sure that I'm giving you everything that you need to know to take care of your scalp. So let's get started with the first one. I want to mention this. Why avoid these oils for sensitive or thinning scalps? Fragrant oils are synthetic and they have added scents to them that are not scalp health. They have common irritants in it for sensitive scalp. It causes inflammation. If you look on your labels, it's going to be listed as fragrance or perfumes on the label. These chemical blends, y'all, they mimic scents like rose, coconut, or vanilla, but have no real benefits. I've always been told, if you want to get some information, you need to go straight to the horse's mouth. Well, it's kind of the same thing with this. If you want rose water, rose anything, you want to make sure that is the main ingredient on the label. If you want coconut oil, you want to make sure that main ingredient is coconut. If you want vanilla, the same thing with that. So if the ingredient list says fragrance or perfumes, assume that they are synthetic. I want you to always read your labels carefully because synthetic fragrance oils can be hidden under like these vague terms. So strong essential oils, undiluted, can also not be good for sensitive scalp, alopecia, thinning hair, like that. Examples is going to be like your peppermint, your tea tree oils, your eucalyptus or lavender. They are great, but they are too concentrated for thinning, compromised scalps. It can trigger burning, it can cause itching, it can increase shedding. So when you are using those essential oils, you want to make sure you dilute them with a carrier oil. If your scalp is inflamed or thinning, you can stick with the essential oils, like I said, but always make sure they are diluted with a great carrier oil. And I will mention some of those as we get into the best fragrance free oils to use. Now, I want to mention also with a lot of these heavy oils that you use, examples, castor oil is very heavy, thick coconut oil or shea butter. Now, in my previous videos, I have mentioned coconut oil is one of the best oils that you can use for your hair. But if you have sensitive scalp, alopecia, or thinning hair, those oils can clog your follicles on sensitive scalps. So it may trap buildup and worsen your irritation. So you want to stay away from the heavier oils if you are dealing with these issues with your scalp. Citrus oils is another one. Example like lemon, orange, bergamot, I think is one of them. But they can be very drying and irritating, and it'll increase your sensitivity, especially on exposed scalp. So you want to avoid those central oils. Scented natural oils, y'all, could be another, even if it is plant based, because they are very powerful. Added fragrances can still irritate, and it's definitely not ideal for alopecia prone or inflamed scalps. A lot of my offline clients come to me and say they've been using these oils. Well, they'll tell me what oils they're using because they tell me they have itchy scalp, their scalp is burning or is very dry and it's just so irritated. So I'll ask them what kind of oils are they using, and they will tell me a lot of times it's going to be the heavier butters, the castor oils, and things like that. So like I said, if you have any scalp issues, you want to avoid those type of oils. Now, as I'm getting ready to talk about the scented oils, even if it's plant-based, added fragrance can still irritate, and it's definitely not ideal for alopecia prone and inflamed scalp. I think I already said that, but I want to mention it again to make sure that you understand how important this is to avoid these oils. If your scalp is inflamed or thinning, you want to stick with the essential oils. Like I mentioned, that they definitely need to be diluted with the carrier oil. Now, this is very important, and I always want to tell my clients this. If your scalp is inflamed, before you try any new oil, you definitely want to patch test on the inner part of your arm. And this is the inner part of your arm for at least 24 hours before applying it to your scalp. If it's going to cause any kind of irritation, it usually shows up there. So you definitely want to patch test before you try any kind of oils. So let's jump right into the oils, y'all, that I truly recommend for sensitive, thinning, alopecia scalps that are fragrance free. And I have my oils here. I don't have them in the original packaging because when I get oils that are in the original packaging, I like to put them in my own applicator bottles. So the first one is going to be your grapeseed oil. This is one of the best oils that you can use for scalp issues. It's going to be very light with thin texture. It's going to absorb very quickly without leaving residue. It has low risk of clogging the follicles, and it's definitely great for oily, leaning, or build-up prone scalps. The next one is definitely on my list, y'all, and you know how much I love olive oil, which I believe comes from a blessed tree. It's going to be the olive oil. Olive oil, and I want to mention extra virgin olive oil, which is cold pressed. It is rich in antioxidants and it has a fatty acids to nourish the scalp. It's a little bit heavier than the grapeseed oil, but I'll explain that a little bit more too. It's going to support your scalp health and help reduce dryness for sure. It's slightly heavier texture, like I said, but it's going to be best for dry or irritated scalp. If you have thin hair, you want to use this very sparingly because to avoid buildup on your thinning hair, or if you have very oily hair, you want to use that not as much. But go to your grapeseed oils. It's going to be the best, and it's very, very light. Like I said, if your hair is thinning. Refined oils like your extra light, mild olive oil, I want to mention, if you are sensitive to smell like I am, if the EVOO, the extra virgin olive oil, it has a stronger smell, but the mild or the extra light almost has a very neutral scent that you can't really smell it. So it's still slightly heavier than the grapeseed oil or the almond oil, but it absorbs fairly well into the hair. So the scalp benefits of the olive oil, y'all, it still is going to nourish and moisturize and support your scalp health. Some the antioxidants and the polyphenols are reduced compared to the extra virgin olive oil, but it is still safe and it's still effective for dry, irritated scalp. For the sensitive people, like I said, to if it's too strong for you, any kind of new oils, you want to use it sparingly, and you want to avoid heaviness on thinning or oily hair. Now, take notes if you need to, because it's very important. If you have these scalp issues, what I'm saying, you can write this down and refer back to the oils, and you can write these down as a list of oils that you want to get. If you do not have all these oils, you don't have to purchase them all at one time. Choose one and use it for like 2 to 3 months if you like it, and then you can just start adding more oils to your list. Now, the next one is definitely going to be fragrance free. Now, you listen to what I'm saying. I'm mentioning that these best oils are fragrance free. If you are alopecia, thinning, you have sensitive scalp, if it's inflamed scalp, you want to stick with fragrance free oils because they are going to nourish the scalp. They are going to be safe for the scalp, and they are going to soothe irritated scalp. So the next one on my list is going to be sweet almond oil, y'all. This one is so good. And it's mild, it's very soothing on sensitive skin. It's going to soften the scalp gently. It's going to be less likely to irritate when it's fragrance free. So ideal for dry, irritated scalp. Sweet almond oil is definitely top. I'm going to say the grapeseed oil, the almond oil, the sweet almond oil, and the olive oil is on my list. And so you definitely want to get those. Now, I'm going to mention this one. You've probably never heard of this one. And it is called squalane. Squalane is one of the greatest oils that you can use too, and it is plant-based. It's derived from plants, usually from olives or sugarcane. It's very safe in cosmetics and scalp use. Now, I have used this one and it is great, y'all. It is very soothing to the scalp. It moisturizes your scalp without clogging the follicles. That is the most important thing when you're dealing with alopecia or thinning hair. You want to stay away from things that are going to clog the follicles. So this squalane is definitely one of the oils that's top number one on my list to use. That's why I save the best for last. It's going to support the scalp's barrier. It's going to be best for irritated or inflamed scalp. As I mentioned, it's ideal definitely for sensitive scalp and thinning minimal hair. When you look for squalane, you want to make sure you are getting 100% plant-derived squalane. It's formulated for scalp comfort. So it's very good for your scalp. And why it's so special is unlike the heavier oils like the olive oil. Squalane is very gentle. When I say very gentle, I mean it's very gentle to the scalp. It doesn't weigh your hair down, and it's less likely to cause buildup. So make sure you're looking for the 100% plant-derived squalane. It's safe for all scalp types, including sensitive and thinning hair. So, how you use the squalane? Now, I've had some clients to ask me how to use this, and people's even asked me which brand do I recommend. A lot of times, I won't recommend certain brands because people might say that, well, you told me to get this one and this one caused irritation to my scalp, which is not supposed to, but everybody's scalp is going to be different. So I let everybody choose their own brands, the price points and everything. It just depends on what you want to get. But to use it, you want to start small. You want to use at least 2 to 4 drops for the entire scalp. Squalene, like I mentioned, is very light, so a little goes a long way. You want to rub it up, warm up your hands, and rub a drop or two between your fingers and get it warm and before you apply it. This helps it absorb faster and evenly throughout your scalp. And you want to apply the squalene to like the areas that you are most thinning, or you have the most sensitivity or irritation areas, rather than your whole scalp if your hair is oily. You use gentle motion to your scalp and massage it in. This also is going to stimulate the circulation. Like I said, massaging is one of the most important techniques that we can use for our hair, for irritated scalp and to stimulate hair growth, is the massaging to your scalp. I will always stress that, and I can't stress that enough, how important that is to get circulation to your scalp. Now, you can leave this in overnight or you can wash it out. You can leave it in for 30 minutes to overnight. Like I said, if you leave it in overnight, I always tell people, that you can cover your pillowcase with a cap or a towel if you don't want any kind of oil on your pillow, and avoid staining your pillowcases. But me, I recommend not washing it out. I recommend that for thin or sensitive hair, the squalene is so light, you don't always need to wash it out. So I recommend that you leave it in for the scalp health and the benefits from squalane. The frequency that I want you to use for it could be 2 to 3 times a week when you do your scalp massages. And it's enough for most people. You can adjust it based on your dryness or your scalp sensitivity. You can combine it with your carrier oils like your grapeseed or your almond. And if the scalp is very dry, for extra nourishment, you can definitely use it as much as you think you need to. So listen to your scalp. It's very important that we listen to our scalp. But I want to mention, you want to avoid overuse. Even though it's lightweight with any of these oils, you want to avoid that because it can build up if applied daily in large amounts. So these are the oils I reach for that I totally recommend, because the fragrance free, like I said, lightweight oils, they are gentle, especially when the scalp is already sensitive and thinning. Always, 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 y'all, listen to your scalp. It's so important that we do that. Like I said, start small. Choose comfort over fragrance. I'm telling you, it's very important that you do that. You definitely don't want the fragrance. You definitely want to choose comfort over the fragrance. Healthy scalp don't need more ingredients. They just need the right ones. So if this video has helped you, save it, y'all. Share it with someone who needs this gentle scalp care, and follow for more sensitive scalp guidance. Thank you guys for watching.